Hi, Julie Torrens here. Well, it is time to do a letter challenge that's from Kenlon, and the letter is O. So I picked sometimes out of town, but sometimes out of the country. And I've got some of these envelopes that I recently purchased. And how can we use, because I know I've seen people with these old airmail envelopes. What can we do with them? So I have a piece of coffee dyed paper to use as our sample. And I'm just going to set it aside for this minute. And the first thing I want to do with this envelope is I'm going to fold it in half, but I'm just going to pinch. And so now I know about where half is, and I'm going to tear it. I know. You'll get over it. It's fine. Now, almost all of these envelopes need some type of repair. So I'm going to get my art glitter glue and just give this a quick repair. There we have it. Good. How about this one? Does it need a little repair? Yep. I love the old writing. And no, these aren't so old that they're written in calligraphy with a dip pen. No. But they're still very precious. Now, I've got my Tim Holtz, and I'm going to dip into the vintage photo. And I want to give it a good edge, so it doesn't look like I just tore it open today. But it is aged, that's for sure. Just going to ink up the edges here. A little more generous on the tore edge, but then just a little on the very, very edge of the envelope. Okay, so what am I going to do with these? Well, if I'm making a traveling journal, like for my vacation or something like that, I would turn these right into pockets. You can even layer the two and tuck things in, but I think that could be a little crowded. So I probably would put one on a page, and then somewhere else in my journal, put one on a page. And this one, to me, that's decorated enough. This one, I would probably decorate based on the kind of journal that I was making. So let's just know that flowers, and this is a flower that I printed on top of a document. So it's got those extra lines in it. Can you see? It has the document lines in there. Okay, and a couple of leaves. At least one leaf. Oh, and maybe a bee. Like this? Yeah. Okay. Glue stick, please. So how are you? Are you planning an out-of-town trip? Or maybe an out-of-the-country trip? I know. Pretty far away, huh? I've never been out of the country where you need a passport back in the day. Been to Canada many times, and been to Mexico. I wouldn't say many, but quite a few. Oh, that's sweet. That is sweet. Now, I wouldn't do anything more to that. All right. Pardon me. And as I said, this half I would just use as it is. Okay, what else? What else, Julie? You're sneezing? You're coughing? For heaven's sakes. Well, on we go. For my second For my second trick, I am going to cut this one corner to corner. So from that corner to this corner, I've just lined it up on my trimmer. You can just use a ruler, use a knife. And there she goes. And again, gonna need some repair work because all of the envelopes that I'm using today, I believe, they've all been cut open in some way or another. Okay. I don't plan on going out of town this summer, but if I do, I would like to see my sister. And this one doesn't need repair. I wouldn't see my sister in the summer. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that a cute pocket? Now you can just use this one the same way, or you can use it like on a top for, you know, like this. The other way the envelope goes for an up tuck. Wouldn't that be nice? But let's ink these up. Yeah, my sister lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and so I would really rather visit her more towards fall, maybe even more towards winter. But she has kids. Her children live out of town, so I'd have to be careful about picking a winter time because her children might be there. Yep. My sister is an avid quilter, and she does beautiful work. Beautiful. She really does sewing. Wasn't too long ago that she and her son and her son's wife, they live in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio had the Renaissance Festival, and they went to that, all of them together. All right, so again, look at this pocket. Isn't that sweet? And yes, I would leave this way. I wouldn't cut it anymore because I love the feel of it just the way it is. And now this side, again, if you want, and I feel like I just felt a spot that might need repair. Hang on. Oh, I see. That'll be fine. Little something here, right? Let's see. This has pink flowers. Too big. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. Leaf. Yeah, so maybe I'll go to Atlanta, Georgia, more towards maybe fall. And if I can get my health together, which I would really like to do, I'd drive there from here with no stops, no nothing. And I think the average speed on Google Maps is 60 miles per hour. 12-hour trip. Would I do it all in one day? Probably not. But I'd love to drive for a couple reasons. One, just because I'd like to not lose that ability. Oh, that's pretty. Let's see. Look. Okay, so now we've got two beautiful corner pockets. And as I say, with all this, I wouldn't do any more. That's pretty. Okay, how about number 3? Okay, this one. Now, I believe, yeah, this one is cut on the top. Now, I realize it's a little wide. I could cut it this way and then push it together. I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this up this way. So let's get some scissors, and I want to lose as little of the red, white, and blue part as I can, because it just speaks of airmail, doesn't it? And I'm not cutting the stamp. The stamp is not in my way, so we'll be leaving that on. All right, let's see. How are we doing with this? Look at this. Isn't that pretty? But as I say, if you're working on an 8.5 by 11, it's too big. I could cut it here and then kind of overlap it, and then I wouldn't lose the border. Let's just see. Get my trimmer. Yes, this is the newest addition to my work, because too many times I wanted to trim something while I was with you and I couldn't. Well, because my trimmer is huge, but that trimmer needs to be huge. Okay, so this is what I mean. I cut it in half, and then I would glue it to a page like this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run some glue along this edge, and I am using art glitter glue on purpose because I want to go to the bitter edge, and it's this edge. Even the inside of this envelope is pretty. It has a pretty security pattern. I saw somebody make, I don't remember if it was a whole journal or I don't remember what it was, but she just decorated entirely with, I'm thinking. Can you see like the wheel turn? Okay. There. She did an entire decorating job using all security envelope insides. See, this would be a beautiful start to a page, I think. So here's another way you can use these envelopes. So, spaces like this, what you could do is just put some plain paper, like another piece of, like this, to make a writing space, or you can decorate it up with flowers, but just cut it and then overlap, and there you've got for your page decorated. Nice. All right, what about this one? Now this envelope, I believe, is, this got cut on the top and the bottom, not by me, and I'm just gonna trim there. I just trimmed it to match up the trim that was already there. Now I've got this going on. So what am I going to do about that? Well, depends. Do I want to go this way or do I want to go this way? And I think I want to go this way, so because I can see it isn't going to really fit. I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this like this. Okay. Now to do a wraparound pocket. Now you could just do it like this and have this hanging out like a tag, but I know most of you wouldn't. But look, I think we can sacrifice, don't you? So the other side doesn't matter, so we're going to sacrifice some of this. I want to keep it straight. Good. And I can still do what we did before, but I would be covering up, do you see? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save these because these would make two cute little pockets. But now I have made a wraparound pocket this way. And you get the whole gist of this beautiful side. And here would be your pocket. And on this side, plenty of room to decorate. And again, it's going to be that way. So what I will do is get my small punch, and I don't want to cut, even if it means I sacrifice having it in the middle. But I'm just going to give this a punch, and let's anchor up. Isn't this fun? I was on Whatnot, which is a live auction app. And the reason why I went on Whatnot is it isn't handy for me to go to estate sales. And my thrift stores, op shops, secondhand stores, they don't have paper. They don't have documents. They don't even have like people's leftover craft paper that they donated. I don't know what they do with all that, because you know some has to come in. But no, they just, it's not there. Okay, so there is our wraparound pocket. And this obviously could be decorated any way you want, but I just love it. Okay, more. Uh-oh, oh, things are falling. Yeah, I got some more. Now this is a big old white envelope, right? And we could use this, again, so many ways. So many ways. I know I had something in mind, but I don't remember what. But I think what I would use this for is, again, a page decoration. I'll show you what I mean. Don't want to cut the stamp off. But we know 5.5 is our page. So I'm going to go 4.5. Ooh, that just starts to cut that off. What if I do? That's better. So where am I at? 4 3/4. Down she goes. All right. I'm throwing that away. That did not cut very straight. Well, maybe because that's so great. No, that did not cut very straight. I must not have been holding onto it tight enough. I was paying more attention to the measuring side. We said 4 3/4. It's straight. Ah, see? There we go. That's better. Yeah. And now I just want to open up. It's folded, you know, so nice. Just want to barely take off the edge. I'm going to tear it. See what we get. Oh, yeah. It's tearing the wrong way. We don't care. We're just going for it. There. Well, I think I would do it this way. And I would just, again, put this on a page. Love this. I love that. It just shows that someone yanked it open. They've got both addresses, and yet plenty of room to write or decorate or both. So this went to New York. Where did it come? Oh, and that's the Metropolitan Opera, Bronx, New York, March 23rd, 1984. What do you think of that? I hope I'm in frame. Can you see? I think so. And it came from, I believe, New York as well. Yeah, New York, New York. Fun. All right. Now, look at this. Isn't this a pretty, pretty envelope? And this is from NT. What is that? And it was like the first run of this. And this is Australia. But this is just such a beautiful envelope. What I would do with an envelope like this is either put it this way or this way. Probably this way. And I would just glue that on just like that. And that, so when this will be decorated. Then this is a flip out. You can tuck things in here, but I just think I would just leave it. So how many ways did we use international mail? Okay, this was to use the whole envelope on a flip out. This is to use the envelope as we'll get this back out. Like this, open it up, use it as a page decoration, love it. Can turn it into writing space. This is an over the page, like this, gorgeous. This is, again, you can, we cut it and we brought it together so that it would fit to decorate a page. Absolutely love it. Corner page, corner pocket, corner pocket, like it. Pocket with a tore edge, another pocket with a tore edge. Well, that's our letter O. And we went traveling to Finland and to New York City and to Australia. If you found this helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I will link Anne's letter O for you and you can see what she did. And in the meantime, over here, a video is going to pop up just for you, and I'll see you over there. Like and subscribe.